What's up, Taurus? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind. Take away only what resonates for you, and then please release the rest. Trust that your own intuition will separate what is meant for you, and because ultimately you are accountable for all actions and decisions. All right, that's my spiel. Let's go ahead and focus our energy and set the intention to get my Tauruses out there some clear, helpful, and insightful messages for wherever they are currently at on their spiritual path. All right, for Taurus. Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for the recent bump up in views. I finally got some Tauruses showing up to my channel, and I love it. I appreciate you if you're out there watching. Thank you. All right, we're going to start with some oracle cards, guys, and then we'll hop into the tarot. So happy eclipse season. I hope you guys are doing well despite the chaotic energies out there. Let's see. First oracle. This says, could you surrender just a bit more? The Seeker. All-seeing eye, spirit, and release. And then this card says harmony, ease, inner child, and softness. May sweet and soft things find you. I like that little bumblebee costume she's got going on there. Something about a bumblebee might be significant there. Or it's a stone, isn't it? Bumblebee jasper? I don't know why that's coming up. Little Virgo energy there. The 2 and the 7 make 9, so maybe coming out of hermit mode, or it could be the opposite. It's like needing to kind of self-isolate a bit in order to just heal and mend. But if you're doing that, it's like you're still seeking pleasure behind the scenes. So there may be a withdrawing from social activities or your social calendar, but you're still doing creative stuff or something that soothes your soul, but you're doing it more independently. Yeah, there's a withdrawing energy, but it's not a sad withdrawing. It's I just want to do me. I just want my own time and, make my own decisions and not be relying on anyone, or vice versa, having them rely on me. Some of you it's almost like a staycation. That's sort of how it's being relayed to me. Or even some of you may be hiring a babysitter just so that you have a night or two off to yourself where you can, reset, recharge. I think that's very healthy, very necessary. There could be some sort of a spiritual thing going on too in the background. Maybe you're working on some creative project. Maybe you're doing to your tarot cards or working with crystals or doing something, a little bit more esoteric or spiritual. Some of you are just having really vivid dreams, or even lucid dreams. You might be journaling about your dreams or doing a lot of meditating, something like that. So then for your career card, you have rewards. Your hard work is paying off. Your performance is gaining attention in your community, and you deserve the rewards you are receiving now. So if you're not receiving any now, get excited. This means something is in the pipeline for you. Whatever you're doing, keep going, but not at the expense of disturbing your own health and body and sort of mental peace and mental energy. Gemstone, you have fluorite. Victory. I came, I saw, I conquered. I love that. Fluorite. Good mental energy, good mental focus. So, yeah, I'm almost going to say to you, eyes on the prize, too. Some of you may have been going at something for quite a while, and you may be doubting your progress or doubting just how far you've come, doubting your accomplishment. I think you're going to get a little token of reward from the universe, almost as an incentive to keep going. You're going to realize just, a drip in the bucket adds up, so to say. I think there's going to be some sort of recognition or awakening of just how far you've come. And yeah, it's the universe is wanting me to relay, don't quit, don't give up. You're still going to do it. You're closer than you think. Just take a day off if you need to do that, or make sure you're making time for, again, pleasure, fun, hobby, games, whatever that is for you, or the opposite, just total rest and relaxation, whatever's going to bring you back to center. So then you have the Roaring Fight, card 7. That feels like Chariot vibes to me. So we're going to read from the book. These are pretty short and sweet. I thought in Aries season it was appropriate to do the Fearless Fight Like a Girl deck. So all genders included, or whatever you identify as. But yeah, in Aries season we got to fight for what we love. The Roaring Fight. As any lion queen will tell you, sometimes you must stand tall and roar. Now isn't the time to shrink in modesty or tame yourself into complacency. Take stock of your skills, count up all the things that have gone right. Acknowledge your past successes. Chances are that you are living a life right now that a younger version of you could only dream about. Let those past successes embolden you. It is your faith in yourself and your soul's fire that will carry you through this moment. You will survive because the fire in you burns brighter than the fire that surrounds you. Open up your throat and roar that truth. All right. Speaking your truth. Always good advice. All right, so let's hop into the tarot. Let's see what messages want to come through for Taurus in the coming couple weeks, in the coming month or so. What needs to be illuminated to them? What might help empower, inspire, motivate them, forewarn them? I don't do fear-based readings, but I am a believer in sharing messages so that you can choose what you want to do with them. Dissect accordingly, but again, only take on what is yours for Taurus. What wants to come out for Taurus? Page of Swords. All right, what are you thinking about? Ooh, conflict. I almost see this as some sort of like playful energy though too, of like wanting to get involved in some sort of team dynamic but feeling a little bit shy or hesitant. Or as we said earlier, kind of removing yourself from a lot of social events in your social calendar, maybe taking a break from that. But then it's funny, it's like when you do that, you almost get sort of, not jealous, that's not the right word, but then it's like you miss it. You miss that connection. So you're seeing, and this is like very superficial, like I'm dumbing it down is what I'm trying to say. This isn't necessarily true for all of you, but it's like then you're going on social media and seeing what you missed or seeing what all your friends did. You're like, aw. It's like there's an element of FOMO here. Fear of missing out. That's not for everyone, right? Others of you may be thinking about some sort of quarrel or conflict that you're currently going through, and maybe, spending a lot of mental energy on how to cope with it or how to set things straight. Yeah, absolutely. How to reset some sort of relationship back into balance. This could also have to do with, again, recharging your battery and setting your own health back to balance. Taking some personal days, taking some personal time if and where you can. But really, you should always make time for that, right? I know it's easy for me to say we all have different jobs and different schedules and different lives out there. But ultimately, like your body, your health, that should be number one because it allows you to do the rest. Whereas if we start putting job stuff or parenting priorities first, it's like we can't pour from an empty cup. So it's actually kind of like not helping us. Just make sure to put yourself first. Yeah, some of you, it's like you're trying to reach out to someone to make something right or to have some sort of conversation, bring things back into harmony or balance, but it almost seems like you're being blocked or the person is being very defensive or unwilling to have this conversation with you. What is this about? It might be your husband, your wife, your partner, your roommate, your boyfriend, girlfriend, possibly someone that you share a living space with too, so it could be family if you're living with your family. There could be some sort of disagreements about money and how money is being spent. There could also be agitations or not disagreements, but agitation with someone's health or someone not making their health a priority or needing to allocate a lot of money in order to take care of like a medical bill, but it might be leaving you a little bit strapped for cash right now. We'll see. So there's a couple scenarios there. To be honest, and I don't mean to minimize what you're going through. Obviously, it's showing up in the tarot reading for a reason, but just kind of based on the cards I'm seeing. Okay, there's the Tower. Okay, so it might be leading to something bigger, but let me just finish my thought. Based on what I'm seeing, because it's coming up with the Four of Wands, it's almost like there's a period of silence or a period of, it could even be like pouting sometimes with the Five of Pentacles. It's like I'm refusing to talk because, sometimes ego gets involved, right? A conversation needs to be had, though, with the Page of Swords, and this is ultimately a Mercury card, which really is the answer to how we fix this problem. We need better communication. We need equal communication and equal balance going back and forth between whatever dynamic this is. This doesn't seem like a make it or break it type thing. This seems like a bump in an otherwise interesting journey, if that makes sense. This could be... Sometimes this is a milestone in relationships for me. Like the Four of Wands can be a milestone, like a relationship that has a very solid footing that we're continuing to grow with. You guys may have had a hiccup or like your first argument, your first fight. So it could be a milestone in a relationship, but it might not be like a happy milestone. Like, oh, it's our 5-year anniversary. It could be like, ooh, this is our first like bind where money is really tight and we're having to come together and figure out like a solution together. It could be, some sort of like bump in the road. What's interesting is you have the Tower here. So that does speak about like epiphanies and breakthroughs and ultimately something needing to change for the long term because we've reached a point where it can't go on the same. Like something has to change because ultimately what we're engaging in or participating in, possibly in a relationship or just a habit of behavior, a way we communicate, it's holding us back. It's not allowing us to grow, or it's not allowing this relationship to grow and thrive in a healthy capacity. That's when the Tower comes through to like clear the dust. But like, it's almost like we have to let the dust settle after the quote unquote like explosion, right? So then once the dust settles and the smoke clears, the clouds clear, however you want to say it, then we have a better idea of what we're looking at, and then it's about rebuilding. But yeah, there's definitely some hurt feelings about this. Someone might be afraid to speak their truth. Somebody may feel like they got put in the doghouse. I'm hearing that expression, like someone may have done something out of step or out of character, and then they got really like reprimanded for it or punished. This could even be something with a child potentially. For some of you, it's like your child may have stolen money from you, or and the thing is, like, it's not even being related to me as like a full-blown adult child. Like, you may have a child in like middle school and like they stole $20 from your wallet, and there's like a very, it's like a game changer because maybe that was the first time that happened, and there's like an important conversation that needs to happen because of that, and there's like awkward feelings around it. It's like, well, what did you need the money for? And like, why didn't you know what I mean? And obviously that's very specific. That's not for everybody, but that's sort of what I'm getting is like, whatever is happening here, there was at one point in time a solid foundation. So if this was someone that you were starting to date, it seems like it had been smooth sailing until this point. Like this is more than just like one or two dates. When the Four of Wands shows up again, it's like a milestone in a relationship. But for some of you who've been together for 2-3 years, this is like the first time, fill in the blank has happened. And there is some opposition. There is some fighting. There is some struggle to bring something back to harmony. And it may have to do with, it may involve someone's health, or it may involve finances, or possibly something with children is coming through with the page. Maybe it's an unexpected medical bill and it's putting a lot of tension on the relationship or something like that. I don't ever like to view tarot through the lens of something we need to fear, but when the Tower card comes up, it can kind of be like an awakening or some sort of like really being shaken up for the purposes of initiating some important changes in your life. It may have to do with changes in someone practicing better emotional intelligence and maybe not always playing the victim, or someone going through some sort of growth spurt or maturity in how they respond to the world around them and how they cope and deal with their own emotions. And there's no shame, there's no judgment, there's no guilt or blaming here. I'm not relaying it to put anybody in their place or make them feel bad. But I would challenge you to see yourself in this scenario and like, what parts of you, or where do you still need to, practice your own emotional intelligence, especially in regards to other people in your life. There could be an opportunity for you to learn from a very impactful event and being more mindful of how you choose to respond in the future. And don't get me wrong, like, it's not about you did this and I did that. Like, it takes two to tango. It doesn't matter who did what because we're both in this together. And I think you want to be, but there's something challenging coming through about the relationship, which is why it's so challenging to solve it together because, again, there's like an uneasy tension in the air. It does have to do with fear. Fear of letting go of the past, or an apprehension or a trouble to let go of things in the past, especially in regards to our perception of something and how we view or how we choose to view or see something. It might be something that's been ingrained in us and we think it's very black and white, and then come to find out maybe it's not so black or white. Maybe there is areas and shades of gray. Maybe it's a little bit more difficult than just a simple yes or no or do or don't. Maybe it requires a little bit more. But there is an opportunity to take some sort of action that's going to liberate yourself from some sort of problem. Eights are all about liberation, and when the Eight of Swords comes up, we have to liberate ourselves from our own limited thoughts or limited beliefs, especially in terms of what we're capable of too. So maybe I'm speaking to you, Taurus, or maybe this is about your person, but at least you're getting a glimpse of what they might be going through. So maybe you can move forward with more compassion and understanding. I do think there's an opportunity. Ace of Pentacles are almost like blessings that the universe gifts to you. They're opportunities. It doesn't mean it comes in and it solves all your financial problems, but like a new door has been opened where it's like, should you choose to go down it and pursue what's there, it could actually be life-changing. It could actually solve your problems with some time and effort and work and energy. Pentacles involve work. It's earthly type stuff. Movement away from an ending with the Lovers, a chance to hit reset, improve better communications. And I always think the Queen of Pentacles, when I see her, I always think of the word receiving. what are you receiving? What are you willing and able to receive from others? And you know, where are you willing to give too? But again, it has to do with reciprocity. It's an Earth Queen, so I do think that's representing you. And because it's showing up with a Mercury card, like, giving advice is great, but are you also able to heed the advice of others, particularly if they're involved in a scenario where it is two people on a team, in a team dynamic, or coming together and needing to share ideas or responsibilities, or it's sort of like leaning into the potential or the possibilities of collaboration in a new, refreshed, and maybe invigorated way. All right, for Taurus, what wants to come out for Taurus? Any other oracle decks for Taurus? Some of you, this is not the majority, but just for those who are kind of not, if you're still here and I haven't really touched upon your scenario, if you're dating, and especially on dating apps, if you're dating someone who has an element of a little bit immaturity, or they might quite literally be younger than you, there might be a storyline here where you're sensing that they're very conflicted about giving to the relationship, and to the point where, like, they're very defensive, like you're having to work for it. I don't think this would be shocking, but for some of you, you're starting to realize, oh, there's someone else in the mix here. Like, I'm not the only person who has their attention. And so that's why they're being kind of indecisive or flaky or giving me like one-word answers. It's like they're keeping me warm, but they may already have their eyes on someone else who they view as a soulmate. And I mean, that stinks. So I mean, I would encourage you to maybe disengage from that if they're not, you know, willing to play ball with you, right? If you guys aren't on the same page in terms of what you're looking for in a relationship, I don't necessarily get that they're looking for commitment right now. It might be just, you know, fun, flirting, casual, one-night stand, whatever energy. I don't know, there could be a truth revealed that they're already married, or they might be going through a divorce. That's possible. Or it's like they still have they're trying to give their heart to someone who has rejected them, and so they're stuck in that in-between of like, I know I should get out there and date again, and maybe they connected with you, Taurus, and you kind of met them at that weird time where they're not fully ready to be in a new relationship, and yet they're swiping right. Do you know what I mean? There's like, this person doesn't know what they want, because it's like, they want to go out and meet new people, but at the same time, they're like, oh, but I still love my ex. There's a lot of like that ooh, yeah, that's important. In fact, I think I know someone who's going through that. It's funny how that comes out in the end. Anyway, indecision is sort of like the conclusion of that. So I'm not going to say that's going to go on forever, but I think use it to your empowerment to know that if you do have eyes for someone and they're wishy-washy or, you know, hot and cold on you, it's because they're still not over their ex. That's what's going on. I don't necessarily think their ex is still actively in the picture. I think they're having trouble healing from being rejected. And quite frankly, they probably liked getting the attention from you, but it doesn't mean that their heart was in it. So while I could see you writing that person off as being very selfish and egotistical and whatever, toxic, ultimately, I think you could take the higher ground or the higher road by being the bigger person and recognizing that they were going through a difficult time and they really just needed someone to love them. They needed compassion. And I'm not saying that was your job, but ultimately it's like, the greater picture, right? You know, the zoom out, it's like the universe chose you almost as like the training wheels for them to get back out there. And I know that sounds really like dismissive to you. I don't mean it that way. I think it's because you have such a good soul and you're such a good natured person. I think in time you're going to see it wasn't personal. It was like circumstantial. And who knows what the future holds. It's possible that maybe something here will take off, but it's not happening immediately. However, during eclipse season, there's a lot of like major transformations and major sort of like pivot points. So it's possible this person may have some sort of awakening where they are able to liberate themselves from heavy emotions that aren't really serving them, because the Two of Cups remain in the Five of Cups. So it's indicating like there's new potential and new opportunities. There's something to be gained from this experience if this person could only like turn around and see what's already in front of them. And I think that's you. That's what I'm getting from there. So my sympathies are with you, because it's like you got caught in like what feels like an unfair situation. But again, really use it to your empowerment and understand that like that person was broken. That person was really hurting, and you came in and in some ways kind of maybe not healed, but nourish them. You gave them a taste that, hey, there are good people out there. Case in point, me, like I was trying to give you my heart. I was trying to do this thing, and like ultimately you rejected it or were defensive about it. Like, okay, like I'm going to take you at your word, and that's important. I think you need to do that. Or and for some of you didn't get words. Like you have to take them at what they're energetically putting out. There's nothing saying you can't keep your options open, but in the meantime, don't put your eggs in all your eggs in that basket, because it's not a good use of your time or energy. I think there's like a cleaning out and a removal of heavy energy that's keeping you weighed down. It's like we need to be weightless here. We need to be able to fly again. So keep our vibes and our emotions high. And I just feel like you were connecting with someone who it was like very heavy energy. So this says open up. You're being asked to open up your heart to another, to let down your walls, and trust that they want what is best for you. Your life will open up in wonderful ways once you decide to open up. All right, Taurus, that's what I got for you. Thanks for joining me, guys. I really appreciate it. Please show me some love and hit that like button. I invite you to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Hit the notification bell and you'll be alerted when I post readings. And if you want more content from me, I am on Instagram and Facebook. I do a select amount of personal readings a month, so feel free to reach out to me via email. You can find that in the description box below. We can try and get a personal session booked for you that would be catered to your energy and your inquiries. Thanks for joining me today. I'm the Intuitive Teacup, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye, Taurus.